Hiya and welcome back to Tennis Ace, the game that teaches us that mom said never to punch an old woman, but I will send Keisuke's grandma to the Shadow Realm. I totally wasn't just jamming out to death metal with Sam.
Yeah.
I totally wasn't doing that. Anyways, let's just hop right in. As I slowly open my eyes, the first thing I notice is the excess brightness hitting me. Far too early to be reasonable. God, I really need to put some blinds on my windows. My eyes hurt and sting, my entire body feels sore, my throat is dry. I could barely bring myself to sleep properly. The whole night I kept being hyper aware of the fact that I was sharing my bed with someone. I'm really not used to that. I've never been able to get used to it before either. Then again, I never dated someone for a long enough period of time to get used to it, so I sit up on the bed looking around to the empty spot where Keisuke had been during the night. The morning. I'm pulling up the sensor. I don't trust it. I do not trust it at all. Sileo Tales of a New Dawn. I don't trust it. Turning around, I see Keisuke sitting by my desk, still wearing only his boxer briefs. Though I guess I shouldn't be surprised, since I have his clothes with me. Morning to you too. You're up early. I always wake up early. I need to in order to start my day off properly. Never trust the furries. Never trust them. Huh. I've been trying to be better at keeping on top of my studies, waking up early, putting in more effort, that kind of thing. I still can't make myself wake up much earlier than this. That's quite alright. Not everyone's bodies and metabolisms are the same. I am well aware that I can make do with significantly less sleep than most. Really? What do you mean? You sleep for like 7 hours instead of 8? I usually get around 4, 6 if I'm really tired. What? 4 hours? That's insane! That can't be healthy. On the contrary, I've been to the doctors before for it. My father was also concerned about this issue, but after a battery of tests as well as sleep studies, they concluded this is the amount of sleep my body needs. In fact, if I try to sleep more than that, my body breaks down a little bit. My eyes can't focus, I get tired, and my mind loses its sharpness. It's very uncomfortable to me. What are you, an elf? Beats me, though I will say my father is similar to me, though he does still sleep 6 hours on average. So I suppose I'm just even more extreme than he is when it comes to that. Yuck. I already feel bleary-eyed when I get only 8 hours of sleep. I can't imagine going with only 4. You sure you're human? I guess that's fine then. If a doctor signed off on it, who am I to argue? You've been awake for quite a while then, haven't you? Just a couple hours. I did say I can sleep up to 6 hours if I'm really tired. Suffice to say, the past few days were tiring. Yesterday more so than usual. Yeah, no kidding. Problems with your family, our fight, the thing we did together last night. I was only involved for the last 2 of the 3 things mentioned, and I'm beat. Though it does remind me. How are you hanging? How am I hanging? Yeah, like, how are you doing? You feeling okay and all? Yes, I believe I'm quite fine. Why do you ask? Well, it's just that we did that time when Keisuke quietly stares back at me, his piercing blue letting nothing about his own thoughts or emotions through. Though I do believe I've gotten quite good at reading him. If I had to guess, right now he's curious. Then again, I'm just blathering on and on without saying what I want to say, so I can't blame him. Instead, I stare back at him, incapable of forming the words that I really need. Or just afraid to say them. Is everything alright with you? You're being a little odd. Me? Pff, of course, I'm totally fine. I was just worried because, you don't usually sleep over. I'm sure it must have been weird not getting to use your own bed and all. Oh, yes, that. It is true that my own bed is significantly softer than yours. There was the matter of getting used to it at first. Wait, seriously? I was just trying to change the subject. Are you telling me you actually have a problem with my bed? My bed is great! It was super expensive too. Don't complain about my bed. You don't need to worry about it though. You yourself were quite fluffy. Once I nestled up to you, sleep wasn't that far off. Really? I'm glad I was able to help. Though your clinginess while we slept is part of the reason why I didn't sleep all that great. If we're going to make it a habit of you sleeping over, we're really going to need to have a talk about personal space. Or at least until I get used to sharing a bed with someone. Don't get me wrong, cuddling is great. Cuddling is awesome. Keisuke's fur is so soft, it feels like hugging a cloud. I'm all for it. But maybe not when I'm trying to sleep? Blah! Am I coming across as grouchy? I really don't want to be grouchy. Anyway, what have you been up to since you woke up? I did some studying. It's a good thing your phone is the same brand as mine. I had to borrow your charger, though. Could have used my laptop. It's not password protected. First of all, not password protecting your stuff is just dumb. Second of all, I have a respect for your privacy. I'm not going to go fiddling with your things. Oh, really? And where did you find my phone charger? Third drawer of your nightstand. So much for not going through my stuff.
Shut up.
What about now, though? You're not on your phone.
Oh, I'm working on some song lyrics. I keep a little pocket notebook and pen with me at all times so I can scribble when inspiration hits me.
I extend my neck a bit, trying to peer at the desk. He really does have what looks to be a really small spiral-bound notebook. Even has yellow pages and everything. You really are thorough, huh?
Of course, I'm prepared for everything.
Really? And how does Mr. Prepared for Everything go to school in the morning without his Tuesday school bag? Don't think I've forgotten that funny little tidbit about you keeping a different one for each day of the week with all your notebooks and everything.
Okay, maybe I don't have everything planned out. It'll be fine, though.
Will it? What are you going to do when philosophy rolls around and you don't have the textbook for it? Where will the philosophy notes go?
It's fine. I can just write them on the back of my Monday sociology notebook and copy them later.
Is that so? But then your notes will be in the wrong place. You'll have philosophy notes on your sociology notebook. What will you do then?
I can rip out the pages I use for philosophy out later. No one will know.
Oh, but I'll know, and more importantly, you'll know. Not to mention that you will then have a single notebook that has fewer pages than all the rest. What will you do then?
I No!
Messing with you is way too fun. Seriously, I don't know why you'd even care about all that stuff, but I had a hunch I'd get a funny reaction out of you if I did that. Glad to know it paid off. Okay, I won't tease you anymore. That was mean of me.
You're horrible.
Jokes aside, can I take a look at this lyrics book of yours? I'm kind of curious.
What? You want to see it? Why?
I did just say that I'm curious. Damn, he's just abusing perfectionism. That's evil. He's being evil.
Maybe at another time.
You don't want to show it to me, do you?
Not really. It's embarrassing.
Fine, if it's such a big deal, I'll drop it.
It's not a big deal, but I'd still rather not.
Understood. You can keep your notebook to yourself. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
With one swift motion, I toss away the sheets that were still covering my lower body, spinning on my seat to place my feet firmly on the floor. As soon as I get up, I walk up to the drawer, grabbing my clothes and beginning to dress myself in my uniform. Heading out?
Yeah. Have a good stream. Guys, don't be too hard on him.
Have fun doing what it is that you do at 10:07 p.m.
I'm going to help the girls with their schedules.
Right. Pants first.
Oh, wow. Went straight for the uniform, huh?
What? I need to get dressed.
Really? I think you're just embarrassed being half naked around me still.
Even if that were the truth, that's not important. I need to get dressed either way. Might as well do it now.
Aren't you even going to take a bath before class?
I already took one last night. It's not like I sweat in my sleep or anything.
If you say so.
Don't you judge me. You didn't take a bath either.
Only because I can't quite walk around your house undressed, can I? I don't have my clothes with me, remember?
Oh, right. Keisuke insisted on washing his uniform along with his other clothes last night. Dude comes over to spend one night and somehow ends up washing 3 full outfits all at once. I can understand liking things clean, but that's a bit insane. I'd forgotten about that. I can go fetch your clothes now if you want. Are you going to want to take a bath before class?
No, we wouldn't have enough time.
Just drying myself off would take a good 20 minutes. And you don't even have long fur. Imagine how much of a nightmare it is for me. Keisuke gets up from his chair, walking up to me before sweetly cupping my cheek with his hand.
I'd still appreciate it if you got my clothes for me, though.
Were you really waiting this entire time for me to wake up so I could fetch you your clothes?
And if I did?
Then you're an idiot.
Maybe just a little bit.
It's adorable. It's adorable! Keisuke leans forward, pushing his body weight onto his toes and stretching himself to touch his lips to mine. It lasts for barely a moment, just enough for me to realize that it was there. Keisuke gives me a kiss. Fuck! Keisuke gives me a kiss and quickly pulls away from it again. Heh, someone's affectionate.
So, can't you be affectionate with my boyfriend? It's just us here.
That's totally fine by me. I take this moment to return Keisuke's gesture, reaching with my hand to cup his cheek and stroke it with my thumb. That's when I notice something. Hey, Keisuke, what's this? I try touching a spot on his snout, right next to his lip. Ow. Right next to his lip, I see what appears to be a mark hiding just behind the fur.
Ow!
As soon as I touch it, Keisuke winces, pulling away from me. What was the... Then I remember. Absolutely not! Oh, hiya, and yes. That's... Keisuke, is that Is that a bruise? The hair rubs the spot that I had touched before, making a sharp sound as he sucks in air between pursed lips as soon as he touches it.
Ow, I guess it is.
No way. It's barely even noticeable. Didn't even notice it was there until I looked really close. But still, Keisuke has a bruise on his face. And it's my fault. What the hell did I do? Why did I even do that? As soon as the memory of it comes flooding back, that whole sense of dread I'd locked away the night before also rushes back in, stronger than ever. Dread and guilt. Keisuke.
Come on, don't look like that. It's not a big deal.
What do you mean it's not a big deal? Of course it is a big deal! Keisuke scoffs, waving a hand dismissively in the air.
No, it's not. I mean, if it were any other situation, I guess it would be. But you were just knocking some sense into me. I was being an idiot, so I deserved that.
What are you saying? No way!
Come on, don't look at me like that. You look like you've seen a ghost. I might be white, but I'm not that white.
Keisuke tries to laugh it off with a poor joke, yet all I can do is stand and stare at that bruise on his face. So well hidden that I almost lose sight of it even while staring directly at it, yet it is still there. And it won't go away just because I feel bad about it either. I'm sorry. I didn't...
None of that! I don't want to hear it.
Without letting me finish my thoughts, Keisuke places a hand on my shoulder, cutting me off as I speak.
Now come on! Can you get me my clothes, please? I might be comfortable being naked in front of you, but even if I'm gonna get self-conscious when you're fully dressed and I have nothing but a pair of undies to wear.
Oh, right. I'm gonna go get your clothes for you.
Yes, please do.
Keisuke stands up, closing his dinky little notebook. As soon as he gets on his feet, he stretches his back, interlocking his fingers and raising both arms high in the air as he stretches his entire body. My attention is dragged away to his physique, noticing how toned and fit his abdomen is, and how strong his legs are, before quickly catching myself and snapping out of it. Be right back!
Okay.
I quickly step out of the room, walking to the little laundry area we have next to the bathroom to check on Keisuke's clothes. I'm not the neatest person when it comes to folding and steaming clothes, but I did try my best last night to at least make it wrinkle-free once I got it out of the dryer. Although letting it fully dry would take far too many hours, and I didn't want to run the dryer until the early hours of the morning, so the clothes were still a bit damp when I took it out. I needed to leave them to air dry overnight. I'm just glad they seem to be fully dry now. Here you go, they're finished drying.
Thank you.
I sit down on my bed, grabbing some socks and putting them on while trying very hard to not watch Keisuke get dressed. Alright, hold on, I'm going to grab something to drink real quick. I should have done this before. I definitely should have gotten something to drink before, but I'm dumb. I didn't think this through, so I will be right back. Water. Yeah, hiya. I should have gotten something to drink before starting. But I did not think this room. My hair is down. Whatever, I'll just wear it down. He's very thorough about getting dressed too, making sure his shirt is neat, his cuffs are aligned. He definitely takes a lot of care with his appearance. I mostly just throw stuff on and I'm fine with that. The only thing I take good care of is my fur, because it's way more problematic if I don't and it starts tying itself into knots.
How do I look?
The same as you do every morning?
Couldn't even sneak a compliment in there.
Your shirt is nice.
You really don't know what you're doing, do you?
I'm trying my best.
Heh, I guess it's good too. I think I left my bags downstairs. I'm going to go get them.
I watched Keisuke leave the room while looking around for my own bags. I got so distracted watching him get changed that I forgot to do it, even though I'm pretty sure I was trying not to do just that. Wait, what's this? Keisuke left his notebook here. Did he forget about it? I should probably take it to him. He did say he keeps it with him at all times so he can write when inspiration comes to him. Although I could take a look first. Yes, he did leave it behind. I'm sure he wouldn't realize I took a peek. I can just tell him, hey, you forgot this, and give it back to him. No questions asked. Nothing stopping me from looking into it first. Maybe I... Alright, now we are going to play with the poll feature. Create new poll. Okay. Look. Don't. Oh, hiya. No, we're not doing a stripper poll. Bum 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 bum. It's gonna last for 1 minute. Alright. I just sent out a poll. So you can like vote on it. Bum 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 bum. I've been wanting to try that feature for so long. Everyone is boom, 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 boom. All right. Most of you voted for don't, so we are not going to. Ugh, no, no. Bad, Yuichi. Bad. Keisuke didn't feel comfortable letting me look at it. What kind of boyfriend would I be if I didn't respect that? Although just a peek wouldn't hurt, right? So I could find out. No, bad. That's it. I'm heading downstairs before my curiosity gets the better of me and I do something I shouldn't. I head down to the living room, almost running down the stairs, trying to leave my curiosity behind. I ended up not even taking the notebook to bring to him. I look around, finally spotting both the figure of the white hair as well as Aki sitting next to each other by the kitchen counter. Keisuke's fumbling around inside his bag, checking for something. Maybe making sure he didn't forget anything. Meanwhile, Aki's staring intently at his face, glaring even. Something happened between these two? Morning. Yeah, morning. You got down here fast. I thought you'd be upstairs for a while longer. Why'd you think that? And you? I turned to Aki, raising an eyebrow at his weird reaction. What's up with you? Did something happen? It's nothing. Sure, you say it's nothing with that kind of face. I'm surely bound to believe you. No offense, but you're not exactly the most organized person. You didn't even have your shoes tied properly when I came downstairs. In fact, you still don't. I don't?! I looked down at my shoes, afraid that I must have done something wrong. Instead, I'm graded to the side of my feet in nothing but socks. Because of course they are. I'm not even wearing shoes. They're by the front door. Made you look. Okay, you win this one. I win this one. Will there be more ones? God, I hope not. Aw, you're no fun. Did everything go okay last night? Why do you ask? Well, you haven't had anyone sleep over in a while before, and I'm guessing Keisuke-san didn't sleep in a futon on the floor. What? Why would you? Because he's your boyfriend. If you didn't make him sleep on a futon on the floor, I'd be calling you an idiot right now. That's just because we're not necessarily... Yes, we did share a bed. Why would you tell him that? He's already bought noise-canceling earphones because of you and your previous girlfriends. I feel like treating him like a naive child here would just be an insult to his intelligence. I really think I'm going to like you being Aniki's boyfriend. Aw, thank you. You're really sweet, Aki-kun. What? What is happening here? By the way, I was going to get some rice for breakfast, but since you're here, could you cook something? I always cook something. It's not like you have to ask me. And please don't eat plain rice for breakfast. You'll have digested everything way before lunch and won't have energy to get through the day. You can't live off of basic carbs alone. I've noticed this a few times before, but you really know a thing or two about nutrition, don't you? Of course. I researched all this stuff over the years, not to mention getting advice from coaches, sports dietitians, and the likes. It's actually really interesting to know about. Have you never bothered to look into it?
I just eat whatever people tell me to eat.
How on earth did you ever get to as high a level as you did being this careless?
What? I'm surprised to hear that from you, of all people.
What's that supposed to mean? Yuichi hit ball way hard over the net. I don't talk like that. No, but it's pretty much your only strategy when you play.
It works! Get off my back! Yuichi, you're an amazing player, but Akiyoshi-kun isn't wrong. You could stand to use your brain a little more when you're playing. You're not an idiot by any means, and you know more about tennis than most people do.
It's pointless. Tried being more brainy years ago, but it's just not my thing. Letting my body respond how it wants to has always been more effective. My body knows what to do better than my mind does.
Boy, isn't it nice to be born so talented?
Well, it's not talent. I worked my ass off. You did, but you also are really talented. You could do things at 9 that I can't even dream of doing nowadays. And I started playing tennis when I was younger than you. Some things just come more natural to me than others. Everything comes natural to you. It's annoying.
I've noticed that Yuichi is crazy good at most things he puts his mind to doing. But I've mostly only seen him play tennis and a little bit of him studying seriously. Has he always been like that?
You mean good at everything? Yeah, he was. Basketball, volleyball, football, swimming. He's always been really good at anything related to sports. He picks it up, and just like that, he gets so good he puts experienced players behind. Did Shuichi ever tell you that he tried really hard to get Aniki to switch to volleyball? Aniki barely ever played it, only did it when Shuichi asked him to help him practice. But Shuichi always grumbles about how Aniki is a better spiker than most high school players. So I'm athletic, big deal. You're also really good at studying, it's just your memory that's crap. Your only problem is that you have the emotional intelligence of a chunk of wood. Hey?
That's a bit unfair. Yuichi's a bit dense, but he's a good listener. I'm pretty sure I'm the oblivious one in our relationship. Yuichi has had to set me straight a few times already because I did hurtful things without even noticing.
Oh god, that sounds really scary. Why and how did this conversation turn into a dissection of me as a person? You two are dating. It was only normal that we'd be talking about you. There's nothing normal about this conversation.
I like talking about it, though. I feel like I know you a little better now.
I am not athletic in any way, shape, or form. I am not athletic at all. I am not good at school either. And I'm semi-decent at music. That's about it. Just shut up and hand me a few pants from under the counter. I'm gonna make breakfast. I don't want it to take too much time, so I'll just make something simple. Tamagoyaki, miso soup, and rice. That should be good enough. I can put some water in the pan and wait for it to come to a simmer while I prep the tamagoyaki.
You're really fast with that knife. I know I've seen you cook before, but it always surprises me to see that.
You think? I cook pretty often, so I guess I'm a bit skilled with it. Careful you don't cut your finger. Not even looking at your hands while you do it. See the way I'm holding the vegetables? This claw shape makes it pretty much impossible for me to cut myself. The knife stops by the knuckle on my fingers and is guided down from there. If you say so. I remember you cutting yourself in the past, though. That was years ago. How far back are you going? I guess you might be right. You don't guess I'm right. I am right. You're not making tamagoyaki. You're making tamagoyaki? Yep, that and miso soup. Sounds pretty good. Do you want me to get 3 bowls of rice for us in the meantime? Could you? That'd be really helpful, thanks. Sure. Aki diligently does as he's asked, grabbing 3 bowls and serving some rice into each of them for us. He even went through the trouble of getting plates and bowls for the soup and tamagoyaki, too. It's moments like these that really make me appreciate him. By the way, I just remembered, you left a little song notebook thingy upstairs, Keisuke. I'm gonna bring it to you, but I forgot.
Oh, right, I totally forgot. I'll go grab it right now. Be right back.
Song notebook thingy? What's that? Keisuke apparently has a little pocket notebook he uses to write down lyrics and other music stuff that he carries around with him everywhere. Huh. By the way, Aniki, is everything okay? Yeah, of course it is. Why do you ask? Are you sure? Seriously, what are you on about? This is the second time you're asking. Just, never mind. Why are you being weird? I said, never mind. That is usually how it goes. Like, I swear to God, me and my younger siblings sometimes I'll just walk into their room and just start making fun of them. And then they'll tell me to get the hell out, and I just continue to make fun of them. And then I'm just like, alright, I'm getting pizza rolls. Alright, I'm going to the store and I'm getting pizza rolls. And they're like, oh, can you get me some? And I'm like, sure. They called me a bottom.
There, I got it. Made sure I didn't leave anything else behind, too.
That was quick.
I'm pretty spry.
Weird flex, but okay. I finished making breakfast with only an occasional quip from Aki. Mostly I just listened to the two talking while I worked. Didn't take long before the subject turned to tennis once again. Never had pizza rolls. Are you? That is personal information. That was just like a whatchamacallit. Like a little anecdote that happened. Like a little anecdote between me and my sibling. And it's personal information. I'm going to go to horny jail. But no, that is personal information. That is all I'm going to leave it as. I was so focused on cooking that I only half listened to what they were saying. By the time we finished eating, there was nothing but rice left over for dinner. Thank God these rice cookers keep for a while.
That was really good, Yuichi. I think I could get used to this.
You live in a house full of people taking care of your every need. You're already used to this.
Right, that's true.
Dumbass. Did you say something? I said I was going to do the dishes. At least try to listen. Jeez, no need to be snippy.
Do you have your things ready? We should probably get going soon.
Why the rush? We're still going to be at least 30 minutes early.
Well, yeah, I know that, but...
You're antsy because you usually get to school way before I do, aren't you?
Yes.
Keisuke sighs, leaning forward on his seat. Seeing him exasperated like this is actually kind of cute. I give him a quick and gentle rub on the back, making sure not to be too overtly affectionate with Haki nearby. There, all done with the dishes. Damn, you were fast. It's not like there was a lot of them. They weren't that dirty either. And the pans? Oh, right. How could you possibly forget about the pans? Just then a loud knock echoes from the front door, startling me. It's really early, who... I'll get it. No, wait! It's finished doing what you started! The pans are still dirty! Ugh!
Need me to get those?
No, it's fine, I'll... Ah! I hear Aki gasping loudly from the front door. The fur on the back of my neck stands at attention, and I run there before even having time to think about it. Hi, Alex. I rush to the front door thinking that it must be an intruder or an assailant or something and feeling ready to throw down. Instead, I find a giant wolf standing in front of the open door looking down at Aki with a raised eyebrow while my little brother just gawks at him, frozen to his spot. What? Alex notices my arrival as well, looking up at me with the same look on his face, then looking down from me to Aki, and back to me as the three of us continue in a silent stare down for at least a few seconds. May I come in? Oh, right, yeah, of course, come on in! I invite Alex inside, having to physically nudge Aki out of the way as he just continues to stare. At least Aki snaps back to reality real quick when I pull on his shoulder, following quietly behind us. I guess it's safe to say we're both stunned. No one expects to find a huge muscular wolf standing on their doorway so early in the morning. I appreciate it.
Alex?
Keisuke sees us popping in from the entrance hall, his jaw going slack as he walks up to us, just as confused as Aki and I are.
What are you doing here?
I came to... Alex's eyes fall on Keisuke, going silent immediately. He quickly scans Keisuke from top to bottom. Your clothes are wrinkled.
That's the first thing you comment on?
I'm sorry, I'm not as good as folding and steaming clothes.
Seriously, Alex, what are you doing here?
I got in trouble.
Oh God, what happened?
Tensions were high in the household yesterday. Kuroda has clearly taken joy in being in his new position. He and I had a bit of a disagreement.
Please tell me you didn't do anything to him.
Of course not. You know me better than that.
Then what happened?
It isn't a big deal. We had words. It got a bit heated. He used his newfound power over me to suspend me for the week. In retrospect, he was probably goading me into it.
What? Suspended?
Yes.
How can you say something like that so nonchalantly?
Because it's what happened.
That's not the point.
Do you have a point?
Ugh!
You seem displeased.
Forgive me if I wasn't ready to be bombarded with this kind of mess so early in the morning.
Oh, yes, that would make sense. I'm sorry for dropping this on you like this.
It's fine. So, if you're suspended, what are you doing here?
You've never spent the night outside of the house. I came to check in on you. I also brought your Tuesday school bag since you'd forgotten it.
What? You're suspended! You didn't have to worry about that!
I do not worry about you because I have to. I choose to.
That's,
See? I told you Alex cared about you! I was worried you might have left for school earlier and that I wouldn't catch up. Luckily, it doesn't seem your presence has changed Yuichi's schedule. What does that even mean? That you didn't leave for school as early as Keisuke usually does.
You could have simply shown up and dropped my bag for me at school. It's not a big deal.
Yes, I was. However, hoping you'd allow me to walk you to class.
Huh?
You have never walked to school before. I would prefer to be around when you do so, to make sure you are safe.
You do realize you are suspended, right? If me walking to school is such a concern, I'm sure the estate would have sent a relief bodyguard to do it.
They wouldn't. They wouldn't? They seem pretty intent on meddling in Keisuke's life. I'm surprised they wouldn't. They'd know I'd choose to come even if I am suspended. My suspension is purely for the sake of docking my pay and hurting my reputation. They have no illusions that I would stop doing my job simply because of it. So, they expect you to keep working through suspension? Is that illegal? That feels like it should be illegal.
Oh, why am I not surprised?
You're not. You're not? You did seem very surprised just now.
I'm surprised that you're here and that you go that far. I'm not surprised that they would plan on making you work through a suspension.
Again, they did not make me work. I chose to work. Your safety is more important to me than a paycheck.
Alex, wow.
So, may I accompany you to class?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. We did finish having breakfast and we're just hanging out before heading to school. I guess we could leave now. Nuh-uh! You're not getting out of finishing what you started. You still didn't wash the pans. Damn it. Why did you even offer to do it if you didn't want to? I'll be right back. Wait for me. I'll go with you guys. Alright, I'll lock the door. Did you remember to close your bedroom window, Aki? You're asking me this after locking the door. I'm asking as a formality. Usually always remember to do this stuff. Then don't ask me. And yes, I closed the window.
I'm surprised you chose to come with us, Akiyoshi-kun. Isn't your school far from ours? I thought you'd have left earlier.
I knew you were spending the night, so I wanted to stick around and leave with you guys. I don't want to be the only one left out. Wait, how do you know how far my school is?
Isn't that the uniform of Hiraganishi Academy? It's the best elementary school in the prefecture. I'm an alumnus.
What? You are? Keisuke nods, the smile on his face widening. I'm surprised. Thought you'd have studied someplace, I don't know, more expensive.
I sorta did. I think I might have mentioned before how the Saitama estate isn't the family's main estate, right? At least I think I did. I'm not too sure.
For the sake of argument, let's say you did.
Before we moved to Saitama, I used to study in a different school. That one was way more expensive. There aren't really any other schools quite as expensive as it is in the prefecture, though.
Plus, Hiraganishi is already very expensive. I can only go there because of a scholarship. How on earth do you know that? Mom and I make sure not to discuss that sort of thing with you. She left a few documents lying around some years ago and I saw how much she was paying. Plus the internet exists and I can look this stuff up. I really wish you wouldn't stick your nose into this kind of thing.
It's not so bad.
Dude, easy for you to say. Your family wouldn't even have to blink at the school's tuition.
Fair point.
Still, I'm surprised you studied there.
It was only for my last year in elementary school when my family first came to Saitama.
Why did you guys come to Saitama anyway? You said the main estate isn't here, and at least according to the internet, neither is the company's headquarters.
I got father to agree to let me move to Saitama when I first started getting into competitive tennis. Grandmother refused to let me go somewhere if she wasn't going to be around, so the entire family uprooted here. The original plan was for me to live alone in the estate with only the attendants and servants.
Huh, I didn't know any of that. Keisuke does try very hard to keep it a secret, yes.
Alex, just shut up for a second!
Alex clicks his tongue, otherwise showing no visible change to his facial expression whatsoever.
Point is, Hiraganishi was the best school they could enroll me in when we first moved here. It was the most freedom I'd had since I was first taken in by the Urushihara family.
That sounds a bit exhausting, and kinda sad.
You have no idea.
Keisuke would also let me guard him much more thoroughly back then as well. It wasn't until late in his middle school years that he began rebelling against supervision.
Something you still won't let go of to this day.
Indeed. I leaned in closer to Keisuke, covering my mouth with a hand and whispering in his ear. I'm actually surprised you didn't put up a fight to him coming with us at all.
I thought of it, but I felt bad that he ended up being suspended from work because of me, and I don't have the money to pay him back anymore either.
Because of you? He said he got into a fight with his boss when you weren't even around. How's that your fault?
I know these people. It was probably a way to send me a message. Alex is my biggest and closest supporter, and they showed me how easily they can get rid of him if they wanted to. No doubt they wanted to show off they could isolate me from my faction.
Eek! This whole thing gives me a headache. None of this political intrigue sounds like actual real life. Are these people even a family at all? I don't get it. Family is supposed to care for each other. They don't seem like a family at all. What are you two whispering about?
Oh, that's,
I was asking about your clothes. My clothes? I've never seen you dressed like that before. I was mentioning to Keisuke how I'm not used to seeing it. Alex looks down at his own clothes, blinking a few times before finally speaking again. Is it that strange?
Not really, at least not to me. Then again, I'm used to seeing you dressed like this.
You are?
Alex wears his uniform most of the time when he's working, but don't you think he'd call too much attention to himself if he always wore that when going out with me?
He does always wear that when going out with you. When we visited the music store, when we went to the mall, when we visited that shrine with Vitkun, he was wearing his uniform every single time. I wore my uniform those times because I didn't have time to prepare beforehand. Prepare? Yes, Keisuke is constantly trying to leave without my noticing or my supervision. When I catch him on his way out, I am forced to leave in my uniform. Usually when I have time to prepare, I will wear something less. Just how much trouble do you usually cause him?
I don't want to get into that.
The answer is, a lot.
I'm not that bad. Don't me.
Is there anything bad about my clothes? I find it odd that you'd mention them. Not bad, they're just very unusual.
It's for sure gaudier than most people are used to, especially the necklace. At least he's not wearing the leather jacket.
There's usually a jacket on top?
Sometimes there's only the jacket.
Oh, God! Those tits look heavy. Let me hold on to them for you. That sounds... God, I wish... Hiya, and I agree with all of that. Like, I just want to take his titties and just... You can't see what I'm doing, but I am, like, doing it... Oh, God! In the middle of the street? Please tell me he at least closes the jacket. I don't know why you guys are being so fussy about it. I think his clothes are really cool. Oh? I think I want to buy something like that. Maybe even with a leather jacket. Absolutely not. Aw, why? You don't need to be calling a bunch of attention to yourself. Alex can wear basically whatever he wants. He's already huge with an unusual tattoo and with a fur pattern that isn't very common around here. He screams foreigner, He screams foreigner, so he's going to invite a ton of attention anyway. You aren't. Boo. It is probably for the best. Blending in gives you the best odds of avoiding being targeted. Targeted for what? You do not want to know. But I do. No, you don't. You're way too young to be worrying about that. You're the one telling me to worry. I'm not telling you to worry. I'm just telling you to listen to me. But you're worrying. That's right. I'm the one you're worrying. You're supposed to just enjoy your childhood without worrying. You're the one not letting me enjoy it with your constant nagging. I'm just looking out for you. I don't need... Oh my God. Aki and I are interrupted by the sound of a loud snort. Both look to the source, seeing the giant wolf covering his mouth before breaking into laughter. What? He laughed! You're right, he's totally laughing. I didn't know he laughed. Alex isn't a robot, you know. Of course he laughs sometimes. The wolf's shoulders shake violently as he continues to laugh, his mouth covered by his huge hand. It brings the four of us to a stop in the middle of the street, with Aki and I gawking at the bizarre sight of the wolf laughing while Keisuke laughs at us. Holy crap! I can't believe it! It is not as if I need to remain serious at all times. I'm not on the clock right now.
And it's not as if work has anything to do with it. You're always serious, even when you're not working. Even I haven't heard you laugh in a while.
What? That's not true.
Of course it is. You're always really serious.
I can be relaxed and loose when I'm not at work.
Relaxed and loose? You? No way.
Do not laugh. Seeing Keisuke laughing as well as Alex's unusually deep frown, the dam inside breaks. Aki and I quickly join in, laughing at how weird this whole conversation has been from start to finish. Us joining in on the laughter only makes Alex's brow furrow even further as he glares at all three of us with a low growl. Still, it's not enough to stop our laughter. It's a good thing we haven't merged in with the main street yet, otherwise we'd have a lot of people looking at us like we're freaks right now. A few minutes later... That was faster than I thought. We finally reached the school. Aki spent much of the rest of the way here talking with Alex and asking him a bunch of questions about what he does for work, what kind of training he does, that sort of thing. At one point, he even asked, "What did you do to be so tall?"
That's because you enjoyed yourself and time went faster.
I knew that.
Of course you did. How silly of me.
I guess this is where we split off. I'll see you guys later. Aki, be careful on your way to school. I know that. If you do not mind, I could accompany you to school as well, little one. What? Me? Wait, really? Yes, I would worry if he had to walk alone there. It is a bit far, and he is quite young. I have seen the worst type of people in my line of work, and many of them target children. I don't believe I'd be able to relax if I knew he was on his own.
Oh, wow! Okay, yeah, let's go together.
And you're fine with that?
Of course! We can chat on the way to school. It'll be so awesome.
But his whole reasoning for walking you there is because you're a child. You hate being treated like a child. Why does everyone else get special treatment and I get to deal with the grumpy tween when we're home? That's so unfair. Very well. Let us be on our way. I wouldn't want for you to be late. Okay, I'll see you guys later.
What did I... That was weird.
You thought so too, huh? I totally didn't see that coming.
I just have no idea what Alex is thinking. He's not usually one to go out of his way for other people like that.
Maybe it's because I'm your boyfriend?
What do you mean?
Well, from what I've noticed interacting with him, Alex isn't all that different from a loyal guard dog. I'm your boyfriend, so I'm important to you. Alex has already been keeping an eye on me even before we started dating. Maybe that we are dating, everything that is important to me suddenly also entered his zone of protection, so we speak.
That's silly. Alex isn't a guard dog. He's a hired hand. He has no reason to do stuff like that.
You spend way too much time arguing for the sake of reason and rationale, and forget really basic stuff. Alex clearly likes and cares for you a lot. If something happened to me, you'd be sad, right?
What kind of question is that? Of course I would.
Well, if I were sad, you'd probably get sad too, and if anything happened to my family, and forget sad, I'd be devastated. Alex obviously doesn't want to see you sad. Protecting us might just be his way of taking care of you and your feelings.
No way.
Seriously, you give him way too little credit. Like I said, he obviously cares for you a lot. Hell, he showed up through suspension to take care of you anyway.
I see.
I don't know why you find it so hard to believe. It's pretty obvious. It really, really is. I can't understand at all how you can be so surprised by it. Just how backstabby of a place did you grow up in to treat even clear affection as if it had ulterior motives? Can't understand it at all.
Well, if you'll excuse me, I really should be on my way to class.
We can just walk to...
I really need to get going. Talk to you again later.
What? What the hell was that? Did he just run away from me? For real? So many people came after me over the years, but no. I had to date the weirdo. Good going, Yuichi. I start my way into the building in which my boyfriend just disappeared into. Alone. If I catch him later, I'll karate chop him on the head for that. A few hours later, I take a deep breath, finally letting the weight of this tiny little ball I hold in my hand sink in. I grip it tightly. I'm like multitasking right now. 1, 2, 5 times I bounce it on the floor, placing one foot ahead of the other, the racket held firmly in my dominant hand. As soon as I toss the ball high into the air, the single thought immediately goes through my brain. Yeah, this is going to be a good serve. Performing that same whip-like motion with my entire body, my racket slams against the ball dead on, sending it flying fast to the other side of the court. The hair dashes towards the ball, a wide topspin serve that bounces high and off the court. Even with his form crumbling under the strain of chasing after such a fast ball, even with his balance being shaky from not getting into a good position for a good receive, I know he's going to reach it, and I place myself in a position to return it no matter where it goes. Keisuke hits the ball back with a shallow and wide slice, aiming the ball at an angle to try and make it hard for me to hit it. Ever since he started to mess around with the depth of his shots, he's become so much more annoying to deal with. And I should know. We play each other so often now that I can pretty much feel him poking and prodding inside my brain, trying to figure out what I'm going to do and how to counter it. I know all that. I also know he can't understand the way I play. It's not smart enough. It's not elegant enough. I know he wishes I'd think things through more. But I'm fine not being that way. I never once thought I was the kind of player who relies on refined strategies to win the point. Even if I've always admired people like that, that's not the kind of playstyle that works for me. Because, deep down, I know my heart only craves for one thing while I'm in the court. That overwhelming force that can break through any barriers along its way. That's the kind of player I strive to be. Having anticipated Keisuke's move before he could even make it, I am one step ahead of him to return the ball, hitting a straight flat shot that paints the line on the back of the court and flies away, unreachable. Yes! I pump a fist, happy with myself for having scored the point. Game, set, and match won by Yuichi, 6-4, 6-3. Again! Huh. Tension leaving his body, Keisuke lets himself fall down to the floor, his back smacking against the hard concrete and his racket flying out of his hand on the impact. Are you okay there? You're a monster. Keisuke breathes raggedly, each shallow and quick breath hurting even me as I watch it. I go over the net, crossing over into his side and offer him a hand. When he shows me no inclination toward getting up, I instead crouch on his side. You're getting way better. I can't even recognize you as the same person I played against a few months ago. It's still not enough. Even though my words held nothing but genuine praise and admiration for his progress, the hair instead waves them off, keeping his eyes fixed only on the goal ahead of him. Coach walks up to us, having gotten down from his umpire chair. The grin he has on his face seems even wider than usual, and for some reason that creeps me out. You both have been making great progress recently. Do you think so? I feel like I was finally catching up to Yuichi-senpai, yet now the distance is widening again, and I was so close to taking a set from him just last month, too. Sorry. You shouldn't feel too bad about it. It's clear that you have been progressing at an accelerated rate, so much so that it even shocked me a few times. You've made great strides in a short amount of time, Urushi-Haru-kun. You should be proud. If you say so. Plus, wouldn't feel so bad about not being able to get a set from me. There's only a handful of players in the country that managed to in recent years. Still, Urushi-Haru-kun, your form has gotten a lot more steady. You're managing to deal with hard balls way better than before. If you can manage to keep yourself firm on your feet, you'll have a lot more options to attack. I know it's difficult, but try to at least stabilize your form before you hit the ball. That's easier said than done. Yuichi-senpai's serves feel like bullets coming my way. The crocodile chuckles, offering a hand to the hare, who finally accepts it and gets pulled back to his feet. That is true, but right now, you're getting used to everything at his high level. How to properly brace for impact of strong shots, where to best place your balls, how to respond to unexpected circumstances, how to cope with stress. All of that you're learning from playing against Yuichi often. If anything, at least I feel like I don't lose my cool as often anymore. Coach nods, his expression getting serious once again. I would actually like to suggest you start practicing with Sayaton too. I believe that would greatly help you on your progress. Against Saya, but she doesn't even play in the same league. True, but while you are the closest approximation to a cannon, Saya is much more of a sturdy, unyielding wall. Practicing against you like Keisuke improves his defensive ability, but he needs to learn how to punch through a defense now. I guess that makes sense. Keisuke himself is a bit of an odd player. His style is neither too aggressive nor too defensive. While it's good that he's steady, he doesn't have the lasting power to play pure defense, but he also doesn't have the aggression he needs to close a point out. A lot of times when playing him, the rallies end up turning into wars of attrition, which sucks really bad and I hate it, but it's also helped me work on my stamina a lot more. I think I can learn a thing or two from playing against Sayaton. Sure, I don't mind that. But wouldn't that be a bother for her? I don't need to play against her to tell that I'm clearly not on her level. That didn't stop you from seeking out Yuichi as a practice partner, did it? The coach's smile sends a shiver down my spine, and for a second there, it felt like I was being picked apart and analyzed in the very instant when he looked at me. Seriously, He's still crazy aloof and lazy, but I've been getting more and more aware of just how closely he watches me, and I don't know how to feel about it.
I guess that's true.
As for you, Yuichi, the moment he says my name and turns to face me, I instinctively straighten my back. Yes? Could you give us a bit of time, Arushi Harakun? I want to talk to him alone.
Oh, okay. I'll go help the freshmen that are practicing over there if you don't mind.
That would be a big help, thank you. Keisuke picks up his racket from the floor, walking away with his shoulders slacked. I've gotten good enough at reading him that I can tell right away he feels frustrated, even when he's trying to hide it. A part of me can't help feeling bad for him, but this is a sport. No matter how hard you try and no matter what you do, there will always be winners and losers. You can't always be on top. So, yeah? Crap! I got distracted for a second and had to be snapped back to reality by him. I'll be honest, I was at a bit of a loss for how to handle you. Handle me? What's this about? When you first joined the school, I noticed the fire you usually had when playing had dimmed considerably. Now, a little bit of a slump is normal. Not every player can be at their best 100% of the time. But when the situation kept extending itself and getting worse and worse, I got very worried. Thought I'd do something to help light your spark again, or you would eventually fizzle out completely. Fizzle out? Me? Your slump got pretty bad, kiddo. I tried thinking of ways to encourage you over the years, but no matter what I tried, nothing really seemed to work. Wait, was that why you invited Morisaki-san and those other players at the start of the school year? Yes, it was a pain in the ass to coordinate it, but I knew it needed some kind of incentive to give you. It worked a little bit, but it still felt like the situation hadn't been really resolved. Looking up at the ceiling, the crocodile scratched his neck, a low humming sound echoing almost inaudibly from his throat. To tell you the truth, I was about to bring Sayatan into the mix. I thought playing against her might give you the jolt you needed. I even discussed the situation with her, and we both agreed that might work. Playing against Saya, I mean, she's a really great player and all, but wouldn't that be a bit, I don't know, unorthodox? And yet, I have no idea what happened, Yuichi. You've been starting to pick up momentum like crazy over the past few weeks. I can barely recognize you. Huh? Did something happen? Feels like your mental block just vanished. You've been playing harder than before, practicing harder too. You're one of the first ones in and the last ones out of the court. You have a drive I haven't seen in you in years. A drive? Come to think of it, did something happen? Back when I played against that guy in the prefectural tournament, I felt like something needed to change. I felt firsthand a sensation like I was being chased by a beast. A young, inexperienced, and rough around the edges beast, but it scared me. But as soon as I tried putting the work in, I deflated again. Things had been going around in this sort of cycle for a while now. Before I even noticed it, I felt like I was just scraping by. Why did I put in that much effort anyway? It's not like I would be number one. No matter how hard you try, someone will always be better than you. Every time you improve, you'll just climb higher and face better people. The odds of being number one are so small, so why go through the trouble? But I had everything. I wanted for nothing. Even if I hated hearing it, and even if I hated the word, I knew I was born with something most people aren't. I have a body that is perfect for sports. I have reflexes that never seem to get dull even when I don't exercise them. I have a talent that most people don't. Somehow, knowing that just made me feel like I was stuck in a cage. Why work hard when that hard work will always be ignored by others? It must be so nice to be so talented. So I could win against a genius anyway. I endured years of it. All along, every step of the way, there were always people who would dismiss my efforts and calling them talent. It was something I was born with, so it wasn't any surprise that I succeeded. I hated it! Even though I was getting put in a pedestal, I felt like no one was really looking at me. I felt like I had that one word thrown at me and over to dismiss me. When I started losing, a lot of people pulled away from me. I was no longer the child star. I was no longer the future of Japanese tennis. Sure, I still have popularity. Journalists contact me every now and again to talk to me. I get asked to help coach younger kids every now and again. Sponsors still want me around. But in a way, I felt stuck. Tanabe was the face of a young Japanese tennis. A story for the ages. The man who beat all odds to become the greatest tennis hopeful the country had ever seen. I stopped caring. Why care when everything was a bygone conclusion anyway? I would always lose to Tanabe anyway. The gap would just get wider and wider. I was fine being number two. It was easier to be number two. I didn't feel like I was suffocating anymore. Why should you put so much work into doing something you're not suited to? If Tanabe is better than me, that clearly means there's nothing I can do. That was just the way I started to think. It hurt less if I thought like that. But getting close to him, to someone who is so similar to Tanabe, I felt like Keisuke chasing after my back every step of the way. I felt uncomfortable when I noticed he was reaching me. It's happening again, were the words that came to mind. But you never cared about that, did you? I could see how much effort you put into everything you do. You're no genius. You're not some kind of child star who's perfect at everything. If anything, I would say you're completely unsuited for tennis. Despite years of harsh training, you're not all that strong. You're not all that skillful. Everything you have because you trained harder than anyone. Come to think of it, you and Shuichi are birds of a feather, aren't you? Yet, seeing you get close to him, goes to me, it made me panic. I don't want to lose yet. I don't want him to pass me by. I don't want him to look down on me when he realizes I'm not that interesting anymore. More than anyone, you're the person I never want looking at me that way. So I did my best. I tried harder. I did everything I could to get by. My school, my personal life, tennis, all of it. I felt like I was the one who needed to keep up with you. That if I didn't do that, you'd leave me behind. At some point during that, I started having fun. Because that's the real issue, isn't it? When did tennis stop being fun for me? I don't even know anymore. But playing against you, watching you grow, feeling the pressure of being chased closely from behind, I didn't want to lose. If I lost, that would mean you wouldn't be chasing me anymore. And I never wanted it to end. I wanted you to keep chasing after me forever. Tennis is fun when I'm with you. Challenging my limits and trying my best are fun when you're around. You don't dismiss me. You don't praise me when I don't deserve it. You always watch me from up close. You see all of me, all of my effort and hard work. You praise me and I work hard, and you call me out when I slack off. I want you to keep looking at me like that, so I worked hard. I guess that's my answer. It's just a small thing, so small that it makes me want to laugh now that I think about it. More than some kind of unreachable rival or a close friend that walks side by side with me, it was you. The one guy who ignored every obstacle and tried his best even when he didn't seem suited to tennis at all. Seeing you grow made me want to try my best too. I think you're right. I didn't even notice it at first, but now that you mention it, I can't say it's not true. I guess I found my answer. The crocodile's brow furrows, staring down at me like I just said something absurd and nonsensical. What do you mean, your answer? Tennis is fun! I don't need any other reason to work hard. His eyes widen, his jaw goes slack. The crocodile stares at me like I'm a total stranger. Some kind of alien life form. Can't blame him for it. Yeah. But what? Why are you laughing? Tennis is fun? That's it? That's your answer? Are you kidding me? Hey, don't mock me. I thought really hard about it, okay? The crocodile's bellowing laugh echoes so loudly that everyone stops what they are doing. Players in all the courts stop to stare at us, attracted by the sudden ruckus going on around them. Can you stop laughing that hard? It's embarrassing. I can't believe it. You look so serious when you were thinking, and that's what you tell me? Tennis is fun? Oh my god, my sides. Please, stop it. I'm seriously regretting saying anything right now. Sorry, I didn't mean to embarrass you. It's just that, well, no duh! I hope you find tennis fun. Otherwise, what are you even doing playing something you don't like? Right. Look, kid, I'm not going to be a choosing beggar. Whatever works for you, I'm just happy you're getting your mojo back. We have a lot we need to work on. We do? Yeah, for starters, your stamina's crap. Might be fine for shorter matches, but when you play against someone who can really drag things out, you lose steam way too quickly. Yeah, I know that. If you make it to pros like that, you're not going to last. 5-set matches are going to be the norm, and you won't have the juice for that. Your stamina is the first thing we need to work on. Sure. Thank you for pointing out the obvious, and here I thought you actually had something useful to offer. Other than that, we really need to work on your spin shots. My spin shots? The crocodile nods, the playful smile disappearing from his face completely. Instead, he looks down at me with a completely serious eyes, making me freeze under his watchful gaze. Your slice is fine, but your topspin is sloppy. The ball slides too much when it should be bouncing higher, and you have no variety. Topspin is only going to be useful for you if you use it to catch other players off guard. You need to be able to change how much spin you're putting on the ball so it bounces more regularly. Really? I thought my topspin was fine. You don't use spin shots all that often. For the most part, you tend to stick with flat shots, which is fine for you and your playstyle. When you need to rely on spin shots to change the place or recover from a tight spot, you need them to be as good as they can be. Fine ain't cutting it. I guess that makes sense. I'm going to come up with a different training routine for you so you can focus on those two things right now. There's more we're going to need to work on, but those are the major points for them at the moment. Okay, I'll work on that. Saiton is really good at both of those things. Maybe you could get some pointers from her. Her topspin is killer. Are we really going to make Saiton responsible for helping both me and Keisuke train? She'll be fine. The girl can juggle way more than you give her credit for. Besides, she's been the one most worried about your mental state for years now. She has? Ugh. Now I feel bad. The good thing is that practicing against Orochiharu-kun helped you get used to opponents that play more carefully. He might not be as refined or as aggressive as Tanabe, but what you've been learning by practicing with him will surely help you during the Kanto Regional Tournament. Right, regionals are coming up. I need to be at the top of my game there. Tanabe has been beating me during both regionals and nationals for 4 years now. I don't want my last year as a student to end in overwhelming defeat too. I'll do my best. The crocodile smiles again, placing his heavy hand on my shoulder and giving it a squeeze. Good, that's what I want to hear. Now go get ready to head home. Practice is over for the day. What, already? I can still go on. I have to close down the court, kid. I can't keep hanging around just because you want to practice more. Alright, fine. Good. I'm gonna go let the others know. Seems some of the kids are already packing up, but there's a bunch who don't even seem to notice what time it is. It's not like we get a ton of natural light in here in the first place. Doesn't surprise me at all. I watch Coach walking up to the other members, letting people know to wrap up one by one. I quickly walk up to the nearby bench, grabbing my things and heading to the locker room. We're gonna leave off here tonight. Yeah. Anyways, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow. Where's the thing? There it is.